Pepe coin holders? I've got a video for you guys. Today we're going to talk about Pepe because we are trading at a very, very important price level. Really somewhat of a, either we're going to make new all-time highs or we're going to see continuing moves to the downside. So without further ado, we're going to be talking about that. Welcome back to Crypto Report. I'm Blacksea. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Let's hop into this video. All right, guys, so first things first, we're going to start over here on Twitter. You can follow me at 333Blacksea. I say altcoin season, a myth, a legend. The reason why I say this is because everyone is shouting at the top of their lungs, altcoin season, altcoin season. When is it coming? It's going to come now. It's going to come when this happens. It's going to happen when Bitcoin dominance breaks below 60%. It's going to happen in Q1. It's going to happen in Q2, 3, 4. And it doesn't come. Bitcoin dominance is nearly at all-time highs right now. I'm going to tell you when altcoin season is going to happen and why this time is different. Well, this time is different, first off, because, guys, there's not so much money floating around like there was back in 2022 and back in 2017. There was a much different time. There was way less altcoins in 2017 and 2022 than there is now. And honestly, there's a lot more money floating around. And I do want to say, I do think there will be an altcoin season. We've already seen certain alts outperform Bitcoin, but really, we're talking about the overall majority really bleeding against Bitcoin for the past 3 years, guys. And now this is really why I try to hammer home that I'm an altcoin trader and a Bitcoin investor, because at the end of the day, my goal personally is to accumulate as many Bitcoin as I possibly can. And I do that through trading altcoins. If you guys do want to trade as well, check out in the description box below. We have a lot, or pin comment down below. We have a lot of free affiliate links. You can take advantage of those bonuses. We don't ask for donations or anything, so the affiliate links really help out our channel. Now, that being said, I do think that there will be an altcoin season. I think that for us to have altcoin season, we should be expecting it to be playing out in Q4 2025, the final phase of the bull market, if you will. When we're in the Santa Claus rally for the traditional market, when we're seeing Bitcoin make new all-time highs, when we see retail actually come back to the market. And in my opinion, to see retail come back to the market, it requires a much more friendly, overarching macroeconomics, all right? And guys, retail investors are clawing and begging for rate cuts. I'm begging for rate cuts. I know I want to see rate cuts happen. Money is not as free as it was the past decade, really. And I think that you're seeing a lot of that play out in risk-on assets. Risk-on assets are in a much more unfavorable position than they have been back in 2022 and back in 2017. We're seeing altcoins bleed out, but we're seeing the traditional market kind of just grind up. I think it really comes down to risk-on assets and the overarching monetary policy of the Federal Reserve. Now, let's take a look at Pepe. Let's really dive in here. So we are at really a make-or-break moment in the short term for Pepe. We're below the bullish trend line at basically 4 zeros, 10, 4 zeros, 11. We really need to see a flip above this level. Otherwise, I'm expecting a test and a rejection down. Now, we just saw a very bullish weekly candle closure on Bitcoin. Although altcoins have been bleeding out against Bitcoin for the entirety of this bull market, I will say that I think that there will be altcoins that are outliers. We saw Solana. We saw Bonk. We saw Pepe. Pepe, guys. We're talking about Pepe right now. I think Pepe has a chance to perform versus the majority of the altcoins. Really, the 99% of altcoins. I think that there are outliers. I think that Pepe can be that one. That being said, when we're talking about technicals specifically, you look at Market Cipher here on the daily time frame, and you guys see that the money flow is pretty red. It's curling up a little bit. But this is indicating that we're probably not done just yet with the outflows of money. That being said, what we're seeing happening in the overarching market in Bitcoin is positioning for an invalidation. And invalidation for my calls, which my call has been that I expected Q3 to be sluggish and bearish with that invalidation of June closing out above basically 106,500, 107,000. We're starting to see, we'll take a look at that shortly, but we're cutting it pretty close to being that invalidation. And in my opinion, if we do see that, we'll probably be front-running the Q4 gains, and you should be expecting altcoins to make a larger move to the upside. So looking at Pepe right now, ranked 28, up 14.11% in the past 7 days, and up about 6.69% in the past 24 hours. Catching a bit of a bid here on crypto. It's very nice to see that. And you look at Pepe, and guys, 4.25 billion. We're about 10 billion off from all-time high. That is more than a 3x if we do reach that point. Now, I'm not going to be saying price predictions. I'm not going to be saying that. I'm going to be saying specifically what's going on in the overall market and how that can affect Pepe. And that's going to be what I'm going to be explaining from now on, right? And I do believe that it really will require a pivot from the Fed to more of a environment that's favorable for risk on assets to see altcoins make big moves again. I think there's a lot of people that do have money that are trading, and they've really moved their money over into the stock market because it's a lot safer. We'll call it safer in big air quotes, right? It depends on what you want to do, what kind of risk you want to take on. But in my opinion, I think that it will require a lot more of a money floating around, more money printing to see altcoins make big moves. But when that does happen, because it inevitably will, I expect Pepe to probably perform well versus other alts. You look at the overall market, guys. Look at this. Bitcoin's at 108,600, up about 1.32% in the day. But Bitcoin dominance continues to rally. Altcoins continue to bleed out versus Bitcoin. Trade at 64.64%. Excluding stablecoins, we're at 66, nearly 67%, guys. That's all-time highs. Pretty incredible to see that play out. But, guys, I expect big moves into the end of 2025, and whether that's in Q3 or Q4, in my opinion, it is going to play out here by the end of 2025. You look at Bitcoin, and this is what I've been talking about. You know, on the weekly time frame, last week, it looked a little bit worrisome because we had that red dot, but look at that. We're seeing a green dot form, and you're starting to see the money flow curve up on Market Cypher, which, guys, the money flow, in my opinion, it's one of my favorite things to be looking at when I'm trading, especially when I'm doing like high leverage scalping. Because it really indicates, like, especially on the lower term time frames, when you see those big volatility spikes, you see the money flows coming up, it takes time for it to bleed down. And really, the bigger the green wave, the more continuation and momentum you're going to see play out, in my opinion. But, guys, you know, this is a very strong weekly candle closure. And you look at the monthly, and this is the important thing to be looking at if you're a Pepe Coin holder. We have 21 hours and 38 minutes at the time of recording this video for this monthly candle closure. If we close anywhere above like 105,000, really, I would be more so along the lines like 107,000. Close anywhere on the monthly over 107,000. I expect continuation new all-time highs in Q3, guys. In Q3. That's what I'm going to be leaning towards. Now, that's my invalidation. If we don't see that, if we start to see a monthly candle closure be below 105,800, really, like, if we start to see it anywhere below, like anywhere below 105K on a monthly candle closure, I'm going to say, hey, guys, like, that's a little bit concerning. We're probably looking more so to that Q3 sideways sluggish price action. But you look at Market Cypher, guys, green dot on the momentum wave on the monthly time frame is strong. That is very strong. And if that manifests itself and stays there by the closure in the next 21 hours, that's a big deal in my opinion. So, guys, if you like some content, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel right now. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Pepe is going to perform well even though a lot of the alts are bleeding out? Well, I know your opinion. That's all I got. I'll see you next one. Bye-bye.